All right, and we are back with the second of 7 parts of our professional portfolio. We're talking today about the parent communication plan. This is, in our content section, it's the generalized overview, and it is 2 parts that we're looking for. One is kind of an overarching paper by which to kind of theoretically position yourself within an understanding of how you intend to communicate with parents and what you want to get out of that. And then part B is a letter, which kind of can encompass a lot of the things that you talked about in part A. So focusing in on part A, we have things like how you initially plan to reach out. What's your first step kind of deal? What methods are you going to use? What are you going to consider when you're touching base with the students? And what strategies or techniques are you going to use to engage parents and families? It should be noted that, A, this is no longer than 1 page, and really I'd like you to see this as an opportunity to build community around your classroom. The power of parents in your world cannot be underestimated, especially when you're talking about students who might need a little bit of additional support. If the only time you are communicating with parents is a negative interaction, guess how they're going to feel every single time you touch them? It's going to be a negative or difficult relationship to really to utilize in itself. So think about it. When you go to touch base with parents, what barriers are you going to be looking at to overcome? Are you going to need to worry about their cultural differences, or what about their access to technology, or the time that they have, or maybe, when they were going through elementary and high school, they had a bad experience in school, and so they may also be bringing that to the table. So these are all things to be considering, especially during this part 3. So it's not highlighting the part 3 of part A, or question 3 of part A. So the part B is intended to be kind of a letter. However, understand that this really is less of a Dear Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith, and more about the content in which you are choosing to make as your initial step. So whether or not you are going to send this out prior to the school year, or whether or not this is really going to be an email or a newsletter or part of just your website, depending on how holistically you're going with the website design, make sure you're thinking about these things. Resources to make all of this happen are under our content section. If you end up in the parent communication plan, you will see a bunch of different links that looks at how to handle parent-teacher conferences, or the benefits of parent-teacher involvement, or some tips on how to work inside those personal interactions. My favorite of all of these, again, this is if you choose none of these, I would choose this top one, the 6 types of involvement, key to successful partnerships. And what that'll bring up, it's a little bit of a dated website, but the information is really, really solid. So you can look at your goals in parent-teacher involvement. Are you really looking to assist families with parenting skills? Are you looking to communicate, so on and so forth, or make decisions with them? And when you open up, let's say this communicating one, you look at how you can make it happen, samples or sample practices of what you need to make it happen. I love this one, by the way, an annual survey of families on what they need or what might help them create that bridge. And then also some challenges to think about and what it might actually get you at the end. So I'd encourage you to check out these different tabs. Again, there's 6 different types in here. Here's the volunteering one. And any teacher, by the way, could use an extra set of volunteer hands, especially if you're looking at doing hands-on things. So I think this is a really neat opportunity to kind of spread beyond the classic, your student isn't doing, or your child isn't doing work in my class and I need help making it happen. So let's see if we can broaden our horizons in terms of parent involvement, and I look forward to see what you guys put together. Again, if you have questions or want to talk out some ideas or strategies or whatnot, on your discussion page, there is that general course questions. I totally encourage you to utilize this forum as a way to kind of spitball or brainstorm or kind of toss out some ideas and see where they land. So in any case, we'll be talking here soon.